Today I was hoping to chat a little bit about the Tesla Semi pickup truck. So not the Cybertruck, and no, not the semi-truck, but the little bit of in between. I mean, it's not too cyber, but Elon very briefly brought it up at the semi-truck unveiling, and we really haven't talked much about it since then. And I feel like it's worth diving into because as hilarious as an image that it is, that this is a pickup truck that can, haul a pickup truck, I actually think there could be quite a bit of commercial use for this thing. Now, before I go into why, I should mention that, no, I get it. This was basically a joke, but Elon kind of talked about it a little more seriously than just like, haha, this is kind of a funny Photoshop, this is a funny concept someone came up with. But he, genuinely said on stage that anyone with a normal driver's license could technically drive that because, it's just a two-door, standard four-wheel pickup truck. What's the problem? Which is why Elon expressed a little bit of hesitation with it should be legal, There may be some legal problems that come up if someone were to just drive that around as their standard pickup truck. It's almost more of a monster truck in that concept form, but the commercial use cases are probably more common than we realize. The reason I thought a lot more about the semi pickup truck was recently I watched Doug's video on the F650, which was someone's just kind of absurdly over the top giant version of a Ford. But while that was heavily modified, Ford does make those higher end trucks. They're just not really meant to be used the same way you use an F-150 or F-250. These are meant for things like U-Haul or tow trucks, which Teslas need to be towing quite often if you're not going to be providing many spare tires whenever they have a flat out on the freeway. So if Tesla Mobile Service in the past got to utilize this design as something that you could tow pretty much any other Tesla with, obviously very large, and we know it has a very high towing capacity, as well as that monstrous battery pack, which, hey, if it's not towing a giant trailer behind it like these two semi-trucks are, shouldn't the range also be pretty decent? This is definitely not something I think needs to be a top priority for Tesla, but still something I hope they come back to someday, because the Cybertruck is obviously going to try to satisfy the needs of what most average consumers need out of a pickup truck. No one for daily use really needs a truck to be that huge, but for the commercial uses out there, a lot of maintenance vehicles that are not quite semi-truck caliber but couldn't quite make it work with a typical Cybertruck, this might fit the build a little bit better. It's still somewhat aerodynamic, but I honestly don't think the drag coefficient will matter too much because it's not towing a giant payload capacity behind it, and it still has the massive battery pack that the semi-trucks are accustomed to keeping with them. So cutting through the air may not be as smooth, but if Tesla truly believes that in the future all vehicles are going to be making their way towards battery power and electric motors, everything, then these are the types of one-offs that Tesla hasn't really done much about yet that eventually I think they are going to have to come around to. Now, full disclosure, semi-truck production, we already know it's happening in the second half of this year, and it's going to be in limited quantities. So this should not be a top priority right now. Focus on the semi-trucks once you start ramping those up and start satisfying demand for all of the commercial industries out there that want to use the Tesla semi-truck. But I think one day when things start balancing themselves out and you actually have enough batteries to supply demand, that's when you can start doing the weirder stuff like the semi-pickup truck, which could be utilized in a multitude of ways for things like plumbing trucks, maintenance vehicles, the ones that have to attach like giant arms on for working on power lines and that kind of thing. It's a small market. It's not one we think too much about, but it's one that I think Tesla might actually be able to utilize this crazy concept of a pickup truck that can carry an F-150. And hey, that Cybertruck is huge. I don't know how easily towing that thing is going to be. So the sooner Tesla Mobile Service has access to very heavy duty but still electric tow trucks so that they can, take a Cybertruck in and service it, then the more efficient they'll be in the future when there's lots and lots of Cybertrucks driving around. So not a crazy idea today. This is just something I thought more people should be talking about, and that's why I'm highlighting more attention to it. Also just because I love the semi-truck interior, and I think the idea of driving it around as your standard pickup truck would be quite hilarious, but don't put it past me. I think I might do it. I would definitely buy that before the Roadster, because I believe it would mean I don't have to get, a Class A license like I would for these semi-trucks. No, if I could just go straight to this, maybe $150,000 with a nice 500-mile range, dual monitor on the inside, ooh, I'll be happy with that. Let me know what you guys think of the Tesla semi pickup truck. Am I taking this too seriously, or do you think there's actual potential here? Feel free to let me know. Thank you guys for watching today's video, and I hope you have an excellent day. Take care.